Chairman Thompson and members of the committee, I am the legislative liaison, the volunteer, I want to make that clear, legislative liaison for Convention of States here in Kansas. I have been in this role since late 2018, and I represent the thousands of Kansans who have signed our petition and dozens of active volunteers like myself across the state. When I signed the Convention of States petition 9 years ago this month, there were 6,500 petitioners across the state. Today, I looked just last night, there are over 47,600 petitioners across the state. So my point is we are a large and growing grassroots organization. Thank you for hearing testimony on our resolution today. We asked you to hear it because all of us have come to the distressing conclusion that finding the best candidates and electing them to office in Washington no longer secures our rights in the Constitution from the federal government itself. We find that the government in Washington has in fact become an enemy to our liberty. I'm just speaking plainly, and that the vested interests there will not relinquish their control. We ask you to help us restore Lincoln's vision of government of the people, by the people, and for the people to our country. How can you help us do that? The framers provided a way for any power of the federal government that were out of order to be corrected. Checks and balances, right? The way provided to the people to restore constitutional order when the federal government is out of order is through you, the state legislatures. In Article 5 of the Constitution, you are authorized to initiate amendments, as Jason read to you earlier, without waiting for or groveling before Congress when 2/3 of the states, 34, pass resolutions on the same subjects and then meet to deliberate and draft amendment proposals. I'm sure you recall that any amendment proposals for the Constitution, however initiated, must be ratified by 3/4 of the states, which is 38. Jason also reiterated that. You have always known you were in charge of the ratifying process, but it has generally been forgotten that you have an equal right with Congress when it comes to initiating amendments. It may help you to know that the Kansas legislature is no stranger to this process. Having passed 8 resolutions for amendment conventions between 1907 and 1978, 2 of those resolutions are still outstanding. One from 1951 for to place limits on federal taxing authority, and one from 1978 for a balanced budget amendment. Our proposal has been brought to this committee 3 times beginning in 2018, and it has passed favorably out of committee on each occasion. Each of these resolutions were heard on the Senate floor. In 2018 and again in 2023, the resolution lost on, coincidentally, similar votes of 22 for and 16 against, since the Kansas Constitution requires an affirmative vote of 27 members. In 2021, the resolution was referred back to committee on a vote of 19 to 21. So finally, we are here asking you again to use your authority to oblige the federal government to control itself. Take action so that Kansas can join the 19 other states that have passed similar resolutions, and so bring us closer to the 34 needed to call a convention to propose amendments and restore our constitutional order.